So we ended up with a pretty late game heavy deck. We have 12 late game cards, which is 5+ cost cards. A decent amount of mid game. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-drops. Not very many minion plays on 3, and our only minion play is kind of weak. But we do have like different spells that we can use. We have 4, 5 plays on 2, and then a couple of spells I can play as well. So the spells could also be used on turn 3. Same with the minions. So I think this deck is okay. Maybe it lasts a little bit in the early game, but it's definitely a much heavier deck. We'll see what we can do here. And the main focus of this video will be once again to talk about the end board states of you know, a couple of different plays, possible plays. And we'll be like comparing, you know, what play is stronger depending on you know, the end board state of each play.
Malfurion versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, I must protect the wild.
Let's get an active play for the early game. No active play. It's gonna be trouble if this guy has a fast start. You placed 1, that's quite scary.
I wonder.
It's a great draw.
Another night on the prowl.
I'll obviously keep it stealth, just so he doesn't have a counterplay. Plays around Stoneforge Axe mainly. Anything that continues to get him tempo after he removes it. Plus it's just better, just generally, to play it as something bigger, as opposed to 2-1 for damage.
It's getting hot in here.
So no play here. We do have a play on turn 4. It is an underdrop. We can keep this alive and pretty much develop a Saber-Tooth Panther with the Wrath, so I'll do it. So far, we don't have any like choices in our plays, so there's not much to talk about in comparing end board states. Here, I'm just going to keep it stealth. It plays around any weapon once again, and the 3 damage to his face isn't as important because once again, we've decided that our deck has a lot of late game, so all we want to do is survive until the late game, not really try to like push in damage to get a win through face damage. So here, now we have an option, and we'll talk about the 2 differences here. Svatness, thank you very much for the resub. Welcome back, man. So if we Spellbreaker, we can trade and we have full clear, right? We'd have a 4/3 on the board. Or we could Tall Strider, and then we could choose to attack or not attack, but we'll have Tall Strider and this versus this. Given that we Spellbreaker and we trade, he'll have a 4-drop, and seeing as how he missed his turn 2, or like his coin turn, I should say, I'm going to say it's a little bit less likely that he doesn't have a good 4 to play here. So if we Spellbreaker, we'll be in a spot where we have to hero power to trade up for like a Yeti. So that'll put us in a difficult situation. While the Lost Tall Strider kind of trades with the Yeti, and next turn, even if we do end up hero powering, it'll be killing this for free, and we'll have the 3/2 alive. So I'll decide to go with this instead. So a lot of it depends on what our opponent's next turn could be. So if we play this once again, and we trade, even though we clear board and it feels good to clear board, he's going to be very very able to play something much bigger, like a Flame Wraith, or even like a Yeti, or you know, whatever it may be, it would kill Spellbreaker pretty easily. So instead of full clearing, we're just gonna wait on it.
I wield the power of black.
Okay. Now we have some options. But thinking that now we don't have any beasts, I think it makes it pretty easy to play Drew the Fang. Drew the Fang and just trade these two, keep this hidden. There's really no point in killing the Harvest Golem, since it just comes back. So we'll kill on the turn that we can actually remove the damage golem. It's just a game about removing as much damage, or you know, how much removal they could have, since the minions that are already developed on their board is removal as well. So that's what we're keeping our eyes open for. Looks like we have enough for a play plus hero power, so we could decide to clear this fully. I think it might be worth it. All we have to do is play something that doesn't trade with this and kills this for free, and then we'll be set up on a board where we're winning. So it would be either Yeti, which is 5 health against this is 4 attack, or this guy. I think I'll go with the bigger thing. Just as a rule of thumb of just developing as much as you can per turn, assuming there's no punishes. So it would remove more damage overall here, but this also, over the course of a longer game, would deal 4, and it's a little bit harder to remove. It takes that set of forcing us to hero power to remove. This one we can just trade into and kill. Okay. Get a 3-drop for the Sea Giant. That's also interesting. The bad part about Mark of the Wild, like, it does set up really good trades if we mark 8/8 kill hero power hit, because it'll be an 8/1 and he doesn't have anything good to trade into it now that the 1/1 is dead from our hero power. But we don't get much other development because we only have 3 mana left. But every other play looks like we can only develop 1 anyways. So I'll go for it. Remove his biggest threat on the board. So here's gonna have 4/4 plus whatever he plays here. So now we just continue with our survival game. Could go, yeah, we're gonna go 8. We don't want to play Infested Tauren because it would end up in him killing it for free. We benefit nothing from this being a 3/3 or this being a 2/4/2 from finishing this off. So it would pretty much leave him with the same board, since we don't in our hand have any AoE to help for it to matter for this to have lower health.
I love.
I like that full trade.
What to do?
You're kind of low. He has 12, 13, 14, 19 damage with Bloodlust.
I wonder.
19 damage with Bloodlust. It's hard to say whether it's worth playing around here. He was pretty willing to trade off his board. Maybe it was just because it was a taunt. I'll go with the Spellbreaker Sea Giant play. Offer him no free kills. Because the one thing I don't like about the Yeti is that the 5/5 just kills it for free. And then if he gets like a healing totem, that kind of ruins our day. Because it'll heal it out of our hero power range. Can get this. Just need a claw. Just remove as much damage from his board as possible. Could also do something interesting like bop here. Now the Infestorn does do something, because if he bops back, this will be a 4/3. Hitting into here would be a 4/1. We could hero power it off. And it also does clear 2 things off his board. I think it may be worth it here. I'll go for it. I mean, we should have just hero powered it. So we played a little bit too fast there. We could have saved the claw, but I guess in this way we do save 1 health. So there's a little bit of benefit there. We could do bop bop, bop bop, bop bop bop. Your power hit, but that's fine. Clear his board. This looks like a pretty strong board. We had another way to trade with Yeti and the 2/2 going into the Spectral Knight, and also the Sea Giant still going into the 3/7, the hero powering. But that would just leave us with a kind of a weakened Yeti. Still haven't had very many chances at a turn where we have like multiple like good plays or seemingly good plays. So we'll keep playing.
Malfurion versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
I must protect the wild.
The play is worse against Fire Elemental. Fire Elemental costs 6. He was on 4 mana, and with coin, he only has 5. No need to coin out, we don't have a follow-up. Still not getting very good options. Here we're just gonna charge. It plays around Flame Cannon. If we can make it so our opponent doesn't have a play and possibly skips his turn, we want to be able to do that as often as possible. Okay. definitely be trouble. Okay. Pretty good value on his mirror. Flame Juggler is interesting here. If it hits here or here, we can Hero Power to finish it off. As opposed to Yeti. If we Yeti, I'm sure he'll do this to trade off the 2-1 liability. Trades it off. I guess you could also trade both into Yeti and Ping, play 3-drop. It's interesting that he mirror entity'd on his 3 instead of played a minion. It was an empty board in which he chose to do that. It could mean he doesn't have a good play following up the Ping. So if he doesn't have another 3, he might play an underdrop a 2 or choose to just not ping the Yeti and just trade here and develop 5. Develop 5. We don't really want anything big because Meta Bomber can't deal with anything big. So we'll go with the Flame Juggler. That's fine. And this leaves us with a pretty good endboard state, assuming we won the 66% juggle. Leaves us with the 2-3 against a 2-2. Could have hit here or here. It hit the Snow Chugger, which leaves us unfrozen, which is better, because now we have Feral Rage options. So once again, he gives us another tell. This is more of a... This kind of guarantees it that he doesn't have a 3-drop. So he could have just played a 3, but he decided to choose skip 1 mana, you know, play the Ping instead. Or he could have just pinged and play the 3 instead of the Trog. So now we're almost for sure that he does not have a 3-drop in his hand. Divine Shield, we're worried about the Divine Shield getting value, hitting twice, pretty much making it that Shaman legendary. Blanking on his name right now. That is a problem. Would like to clear it. Meta Bomber could be okay. If it pings our Yeti once, then he could just ping off our Yeti to finish it off, because it'll be a 4-2, -1, 4-1. The safest play might be to do...
What to do?
What would the safest play be here? I don't know if there's a safe play. Could just take a hedge play and just play the Archmage, buff in. There's a problem with having a deck that's too heavy and unflexible. Sometimes your hero power is the best thing you can do. You're not allowed to do it. I'll hit in case of any buff like Abusive or Dark Iron. This way it dies to either one of these, and we are still ahead on board, assuming this trades like this, and then this trades like this, which are the best trades from his side of the board without any spells. Okay. First switch would have been nice. I don't see a reason to claw. I'm just playing the biggest thing that we can right now. Excuse me. Yeah, there hasn't been a good turn with like 2 different plays. Like here you wouldn't Feral Rage because once again there's no follow-up. I guess here we could armor plating the this guy, but I'm trying to bait this hit. That way we take a little bit less damage. Plus we can matter bomber because it'll be a 6-1 after the trade. Would like that to happen. And trade not baited. Another secret. Could do something like swipe, claw, hit. 4, 5, 6. Could also swipe. It's probably the best play. What else is there? +1 health, hero power, 3. That leaves us with 5 mana. Trade. We don't really want a bomber on our own. The Mech Bear Cat after that. Looks like we should go with swipe trade. The problem is, if he has something like effigy, we're in a lot of trouble. So maybe you want to do swipe here, so the effigy or the duplicate hurts a little bit less. Go for that. Could have also like thought about what could have possibly. Hold on, let me do my turn real quick. I realized that this is much better.
For the wild.
What did I say? I guess also we could have used one of the other spells to play around, like Counterspell or Spellbender. But sometimes you run out of time, especially with explaining all this. It takes up most of the time just explaining how to like think through the turns. That you kind of like miss out on small optimizations like that. But no problem here. Get a free trade. I'll go for our free trade. Maybe we should see the spare part first. I think it's fine. Hero power and armor plating. This is already kind of weak aboard to Flame Strike. The only other thing we could do to play around Flame Strike would be to play something like a Draconid Crusher. I guess we could also play Sideshow Spell Eater to play around Flame Strike and then give it health. But then this guy just gets pinged off, so I definitely want to give this guy health. So we'll do that. That way he doesn't get pinged. And I guess we could still do it with double buff. Just seems like a waste. I think I'd rather just take this turn slowly. I'll give him, if he does have Flame Strike, I'll give him something that doesn't matter as much. Micro Machine. Like, it needs time to build up anyways. They just ping it? Oh, I see. So now we're just getting free spare parts, which is nice. We give it a little bit more health. Always. But maybe there's something we need to do first. Boom, boom, boom. Play this as a 9/9. Could also rewind this guy back if we want to really save all our cards. I think I'll do that. I'll rewind this dude back. We got full value out of all of his health. Play this guy. Play this guy. And once again, give this guy health. So no Frostbolt. No Frostbolt, probably no Flame Cannon. I think you go for one there. And probably no Arcane Missiles as well. I would even have to say that he definitely doesn't have polymorph, or else he would have just played this in polymorph, right? But I mean, the game's over. But it's just good to think about your turns like that, where if your opponent plays something that would be used with something else would make it a great play, much better than the play that they actually made, that you cancel those cards out of their hand. Like there, we already know, no Frostmolt, probably no Flame Cannon, and definitely no Polymorph. So we're just slowly checking off what cards can't exist in his hand, and that'll help us make better plays for future turns. And very often this is when you'll run into like a lot of questions from Twitch chat, like, oh, why did you play into Consecration there? It's, you know, because very often you already know that that card is or is not in their hand, and it allows you to make more aggressive plays that are much more powerful with that information. We'll do one more game here, and we'll see if we can find a good turn where we can really compare like end board states. Okay, there's no follow-up if we coin out the Flame Juggler, so we'll just pass here. Also gives him no target to Frostbolt or Flame Cannon to buff up that Mana Worm. Okay. So now we do have an option. This could be a coin turn, where we coin into a 3 to remove and then play Demolisher. The benefit being that if we do that, then we'll have nothing on board for him to remove. So any spell that he wants to use, he can't remove. He has to have another minion with a 4-card hand, or else he skips his turn. The downfall of that play is that we're kind of forced into playing Demolisher next turn. If we don't, we lose out on tempo, and if he plays something that's strong against Demolisher with 3 mana, then that gives us a lot of problems. So Flame Juggler, if we Flame Jug, the problem is same problem with it getting removed. It doesn't have the benefit of not having something on board this turn. So how do we determine what the best play is? Well, seeing as how we have multiple 5s in hand, it could be possible that our turn 4 is really weak, and if we save the coin for turn 4 to coin out of 5, it may be better. So since it's not very clear whether this line of play or this line of play is better, I'm just going to save the coin until we have a for sure line of play that works, and I'm thinking that it'll be with our turn 5 into 5, maybe even Tiger into Drew the Fang. That looks pretty reliable.
We have many secrets.
Okay. So if you look at this, if we did go with the Feral Rage play, our Demolisher wouldn't be able to be played. We'd probably just skip turn or just play the Flame Juggler, which would get eaten for free, and then on turn 4 we'd Hero Power and we wouldn't have follow-up, and we'd have a lot of trouble. So things are turning out really nicely here. Just reduce all the pressure, and once again we have nothing on board, and this is a critical turn for mages. This is a turn where they want to like Fireball or Polymorph. It could be possible that he like pings and plays a 2-drop, or it doesn't have a 4-drop, and he just slows down here. And he does have a 4-drop, which is fortunate for him. But this is our swing turn here. We're going to play 5 into 5 and see if we can make a comeback with it. Still, most of our turns we did not give him a target, so even this turn, like even though we do have something on board, he can't target it with anything. And unless all his entire hand, or like most of his hand is minions, oh man, he just drew that. But yeah, so if he had any spells stuck in his hand, it would have been very difficult for him to make plays, given that we just haven't given him any targets for any spells. So this guy did, however, have a pretty good minions to play on curve. So we couldn't benefit off that. I'll just reduce the guy, giving us some pressure here because we are getting a little bit low. It's giving us that pretty easy kill. Hit fireball is 4, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13. He has lethal with fireball.
What to do?
He has lethal with fireball. What did he do last turn? He pinged and played Yeti. He could have traded and played fireball, ping. Maybe he's trying to push out the kill here. Fireball, ping here. So we kill here. 6, 11, plus 2 is 13. So you'd have lethal that way too. It may be that he just set up lethal in a smart way. I think if you want to play the safe, you can play the Sludge Belcher. And I'll play it safe because we know that he has 2 different ways to lethal. With either target that we target to kill. So I'll play it safe. I don't necessarily like this because this isn't a move that gets us ahead on board, since the Sludge Belcher kind of just dies for free to the Yeti, and we have no great way of dealing with that 4-2 Yeti. We don't have the Archmage Wrath combo for 1 yet, since we only have 7 mana next turn. Okay. Then we always end up with the Wrath here. I don't really want to Wrath first because of Effigy and Duplicate. It is a problem if it gets counterspelled or spellbendered. So if we go for this, right, to check counterspell, duplicate, or I mean duplicate or Effigy, and we're pretty much wrathing into a possible counterspell or spellbender. But if we do this first, we're playing into duplicate or effigy, so there's no real good way to play around it, and that's the problem with secrets. There's way too many that there's no smart way to do it. So we just go with likeliness, and I'd say the likeliness of duplicate and effigy is much more high than that of counterspell or duplicate. Counterspell or spellbender, oh my god. Hopefully you follow that in some way, because I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. So it's not. Now we have to take the risk. If it is counterspell or spellbender, that sucks. It's not, so it's most likely mirror. I'll give him this because it's pretty much trashed. It's not, and I guess I'll do this. I gave it the buff because I saw this in the last second. Don't want this to trade here. He doesn't have enough mana for Pyroblast. We haven't given him lethal chance with Fireball, so it's still a possibility in his hand.
A second chance.
For the crusade!
Okay. I was hoping that would hit there. So it's not mirror, duplicate, effigy, counterspell, spellbender. It has to be Ice Barrier, Vaporizer, or Ice Block. So out of those three, the likeliness of it being Ice Vaporize is the highest. We don't really want to give up our board yet. Also, what we want to keep in mind is that we know one of his cards is Fallen Hero. The other two we have no clue on. We have maybe a read that was Fireball, because it looked like a pretty smart setup for a Fireball lethal in the previous turns. We could go with something like Storm Champion and Ice Merchant Coolant. The good thing about this is with Fallen Hero, he has 2 damage with his hero power, and we could bop in here once, right? We can bop in here once, and he can't ping it off with the Fallen Hero. And this also plays around Flame Strike because we'll stop the 6/6. Okay.
For Blackwood.
That's a big problem. How do we win from here? Now we have to assume he doesn't have Fireball. One card is Fallen Hero. With Fallen Hero, he has 2 plus 9. If we clear these two, he'll have 11 damage. We'll be 1 above his lethal range. We could double play these and just try to make trades the next turn. Do Bop Bop. I think that's fine. So he's 1 off lethal with Fallen Hero. If he has Fireball, then he wins. Let's push and face. So we have Reed, so he doesn't have any direct damage spells.
Finally, a second chance.
We just need a taunt. Ironbark would be great here. Thank you. So hero power always happens, and we always have to taunt because we can't clear everything on the board since we only have 3 and we don't have removal. So pretty much we're being forced into this play, hero power to avoid the ping lethal, and now we just have to clear as much as we can. It looks like we have to actually keep this alive since we can't kill one guy. There was spare parts that we could have gotten from the Mech Yeti though. There definitely was. Looks like there's only one way to do it, and it's to do this. Bop this in. Bop bop. It's unfortunate. A lot of force plays here. We'll check Ice Barrier here. It's not Ice Barrier, so that makes it Ice Block or Vaporize.
Wanted, dead or alive.
That's terrifying. Wait, what? Oh. Oh, that sucks. That definitely sucks. There are a couple of ways we can still be in the game. We need taunt or freeze. Taunt or freeze, and that is it. Taunt or freeze. We can't clear out our hands, we can't Divine Favor. So I guess we see what we get. That is not it. That is not it. Does this work? I believe this becomes a 6-1 into a 1-6. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we find out. Yep. It actually worked. It's actually turning into quite an interesting game. We're gonna get this guy out just so we can start getting more spare parts. The freezes and the taunt spare parts will be huge in winning this game. Hopefully didn't get a reversing switch back or a +1 damage. That'd be great.
I'll put it on your head.
Okay. Oh, that's smart. He doesn't even want us to get the spare part. Doesn't look like we can do anything here. It's a pretty good stealth part. If only there was a way to damage this, we might have a chance. But I guess all we can do now is run this guy into Vaporize and then say GG. That's pretty much it.
I concede.
I think that's it for this video. We'll do more videos in the future. We couldn't find particularly a good turn. We had a couple of okay ones where we compared end board states with multiple plays. It is a very important thing to keep in mind when you're playing, and so long as it's the thing that you use to actually find the right play, because whenever you're stuck on two different plays, you should think, oh, what does the board look like when I finish my turn with this play, and what does it look like when I finish my turn with that play, and how would my opponent react to that board as opposed to this board, and that'll help a lot in trying to, you know, decipher what is the strongest, what is the more powerful play. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week, and yeah, see you guys later. Bye bye.